The world on fire. Are we nearing World War III? In a world once bound by diplomacy and deterrence, the drums of war are beating again. From the icy trenches of Ukraine to the smoldering deserts of Gaza, from shadowy proxies in Syria to missiles fired across borders, the world is no longer on the edge. It's stepping into the fire. The Russia-Ukraine war, Europe's nightmare reborn. It all began in February 2022. Russia invaded Ukraine, a sovereign nation, under the banner of denazification and national security. But beneath the slogans perhaps also lies a brutal ambition, restoring the lost imperial glory of the Soviet Union. Tens of thousands dead, cities like Mariupol reduced to ashes, millions displaced. NATO, once dormant, awakened. Military aid, sanctions, and a new Iron Curtain divided the East from the West once more. But here's the truth. This is no longer just Russia versus Ukraine. It's Russia versus the West. Proxy war or preview of something much worse? Israel, Palestine, and the eternal fire of Gaza. October 7, 2023, Hamas launched an unprecedented surprise attack on Israel, killing over 1,000 civilians. Israel responded with overwhelming force, bombing Gaza relentlessly, leading to tens of thousands of Palestinian deaths, many of them women and children. Hospitals collapsed. Aid convoys were bombed. The world cried, but the bombs kept falling. But the war didn't stay confined to Gaza. It spilled over to Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, the West Bank, and soon to Iran. The Iran-Israel flashpoint. The red line is crossed April 2024. Iran broke its long-standing ambiguity and directly attacked Israel with over 300 drones and ballistic missiles. Israel retaliated immediately. The U.S., bound by its alliance, launched airstrikes on Iranian military assets in Iraq and Syria. Over the past 2 weeks, Israel has carried out multiple airstrikes on Iranian nuclear and missile-related facilities. Iran responded with a barrage of 400-plus ballistic missiles and over 300 drones. On June 19th, an Iranian missile struck Soroka Medical Center in Beersheba, igniting fires and injuring around 50 people. Israel labeled it a deliberate attack on civilians. In response, Israel intensified strikes on Iranian strategic sites, nuclear, military, and symbolic institutions. The death toll in Iran has surpassed 430, with thousands injured. Israel reported 24 civilian fatalities due to Iranian missile strikes. But what happened next shattered yet another threshold. U.S. stunned the world. June 21, 2025, in a dramatic escalation, the United States bombed 3 of Iran's suspected nuclear facilities deep within Iranian territory. Satellite imagery confirmed precision airstrikes on Natanz, Fordo, and a newly constructed underground site near Isfahan. Iran has claimed civilian casualties. Tehran's streets erupted in rage. The supreme leader vowed unforgiving retaliation. This is no longer a proxy war. This is 2 nations, the world's most volatile adversaries, direct military blows. And the target this time? Nuclear. The U.S., China, and the ghost of a global showdown. While the Middle East burns and Eastern Europe bleeds, another power watches carefully. China. Beijing eyes Taiwan. The South China Sea is bristling with warships. One wrong move, a military drill mistaken for an invasion, a jet shot down over disputed waters, and the Pacific may ignite. And if that happens, the U.S. is treaty-bound to respond. Now add North Korea, nuclear tests, and cyber attacks. The table is set, the players are armed, and the fuse getting shorter. Consequences and the unthinkable. If these conflicts converge, here's what the world could face. Global economic collapse as oil routes shut and trade breaks down, mass refugee crises. Millions more flooding borders already stretch thin, AI-powered warfare. Autonomous drones deciding who lives and dies, nuclear posturing. From Russia, North Korea, Iran, and even NATO, this is no longer science fiction. The doomsday clock now sits at 89 seconds to midnight. The closest it's ever been. And with nuclear facilities now being bombed, the world enters uncharted territory. Is World War III inevitable? Not yet. but we are closer than at any point since 1939. What makes this era unique is how fragmented and interconnected the conflicts are. It's not one spark, but many. Russia's war in Ukraine, Israel's war on Hamas, Iran's escalation, U.S. bombing Iranian nuclear infrastructure, China's ambitions, rogue actors with nukes. Any of these could escalate independently or trigger a chain reaction we can't control. A message to humanity. The world stands at a crossroads. One road leads to escalation, destruction, and a war that will rewrite civilization. The other requires restraint, diplomacy, and the courage to de-escalate, even when the world is shouting for vengeance. History doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. And today, the echoes of 1914 and 1939 are louder than ever. The next decisions won't be made in trenches, but in war rooms, parliaments, and presidential offices. Because if we fail to choose peace, the war will choose us.